guys. I mean, everybody thought this was going to be a brutal stretch for the Orange. But I just didn't think it was going to be this brutal. I mean, heck, Clemson, I think we could have given them quite a run had we not made all those mistakes and all those penalties and that pathetic showing against North Carolina. But then we go up down to Tallahassee, and I mean, it's really apparent Syracuse right now is just really outclassed by the best in the ACC. And I mean, Norvell has got the Seminoles back to where they were almost a decade ago, back to being among the beasts of college football. And I mean, I kind of felt it was a matter of time before Florida State got back to that area. But I mean, hey, we had our chances. We were able to beat Florida State a few years ago in what was our first victory against the Seminoles since Floyd Little played for the Orange. But I mean, hey, it kind of shows. Dino Babers has tried. But I mean, look how outclassed we are against the best in the ACC. When our offense can't do diddly squat and we rely on our defense to do too much. I mean, hey, defense, I mean, sometimes our defense did a pretty good job mostly, but hey, when you rely on them too much, eventually they get tired and they break down. And that's what happened. I mean, last year the score was 38-3 Florida State. This year it's 41-3 Florida State. And I mean, right, this bye week we got right now comes at a very opportune time for the Orange. It's these last 5 games that I think are going to determine how our season is going to go. I mean, it will. Heck, they're still giving us a 98% chance from the percentage index to get to 6 victories to get to a bowl game, which is one of our goals every year. But I mean, hey, it's our performance. It's going to determine which bowl and whether Dino Babers is still going to be the coach. But I kind of wonder if Wildhack has taken a good look at these last couple of games, how pathetic Syracuse played at times. Because you know what? 8 years. You might think Babers might have established something. He's only established that, hey, we're outclassed by the best in the ACC. He can't get the players to play that can play on the same level as the best in the ACC. And hey, they still play pretty undisciplined play. All certain skeptics might look at me and said, yeah, but the receiver corps is banged up. Doesn't matter. I mean, you got to have guys step right up and fill right in. Because, I mean, at times, this is embarrassing. In fact, in Syracuse.com, one former Syracuse player who's now an announcer says, hey, Syracuse shouldn't be on national TV. Well, you know, if we're going to keep embarrassing ourselves with performances like this, he's right. What message does that send to potential recruits to come in? That, hey, you can come to Syracuse and get yourself killed. You know, this is a good time. We got all 5 games that are remaining on our schedule are pretty winnable. I mean, Virginia Tech, we can beat. Boston College, we can beat. Pitt, we can beat, because this is kind of a down year for the Panthers. Georgia Tech, even with their surprise victory over the Hurricanes, we can beat them. And Wake Forest isn't the same team without Sam Hartman, having gone on to Notre Dame with that big thrilling win over USC. But hey, even if we win all 5 of those games, maybe Wildhack takes a good look at Dino Babers and says, hey, it's time to start over. It's going to be an interesting last part of the year for Orange fans. We'll see. Now, I mean, I'm going from one performance to another one that could have ended brutally. What is going on with the Bills? I mean, heck, part of me thought it was the jet lag from what happened going over to London. and how the advantage it was for the Jaguars there, having been over there for 10 days. But they come back against a team that we should have blown out, especially because Daniel Jones wasn't playing and our old friend Tyrod Taylor was in playing for the Giants. But I mean, who looked like the worst team? Yeah, I mean, the Giants right now are a mess. Penalties, bad play calling. But hey, Buffalo looked worse at times. Again, they looked like they were somnambulating through the first half. And again, it just seemed as though, what's going on with Josh Allen? And he seemed to have a big preoccupation with throwing it to Stephon Diggs. Do we want Stephon to dig the competition all this time? Hey, we're using too much water. We gotta diversify. Thankfully, in the second half, we had 2 pretty long good drives, which resulted in the points we needed to win. But still, the Giants had golden opportunities at the end of the first half and at the end of the game. At the end of the first half, calling Saquon Barkley on a run play where we stuff him and then take our time getting off the pile. I mean, heck, if we aren't really deliberate, we can get away with it. But then at the end of the game, that penalty called in the end zone, which resulted in 1 untimed down. We could have gone off with a brutal loss, but our defense and Taron Johnson saved the day. But Buffalo, what has happened? For 3 games, we were unstoppable. Now we look like duh. You know, we could have beaten the Jaguars over in London easily. We should have blown the Giants out of Highmark Stadium. And I mean, we got to get things righted and we got to get things going. I mean, yeah, the defense is banged up, but we should have overcome it because we got our old friends, Bill Belichick and New England, this Sunday. Yeah, it's in Gillette Stadium, but it's starting to really look like this is a down year for the Patriots. And it looks like, heck, they're going to be looking for a new quarterback. Mac Jones isn't looking like the second coming of Tom Brady. And I mean, Bailey Zappi may look like a pretty good, solid quarterback, but he isn't no Tom Brady. And you got to wonder, is this Bill Belichick's last year as the coach of the Patriots? We'll see. Buffalo, you got to get the ship righted. Josh Allen, you got to get things together. Can't keep somnambulating like this. You can't almost give Bills fans coronaries like you did Sunday night. Heck, I could have almost had a coronary, and that's not right for my family right now. Get with it, Buffalo. I'm going to go from talking about them to talking about what we saw with Waterloo and Seneca Falls. It was homecoming for Waterloo, but they welcomed in an offense that is playing lights out. Clyde Savannah over the years has always been one of the elite teams in Finger Lakes football, and their running back, who averages 5 touchdowns and 300 yards rushing a game, was on full display there at Coughlin Stadium. Heck, he's got FCS schools looking at him. Yeah, I mean, heck, he could be going to Maine, he could be going to New Hampshire, or other FCS schools. That kid's a beast, and it was on full display. Yeah, Waterloo was game, but Clyde Savannah, this kid was unstoppable, and he helped Clyde Savannah put 62 points on the board. But I mean, there's part of me that's like, really, Waterloo? Allowing them to put 62 points on the board in your home stadium? Well, I mean, what can you say? Clyde Savannah and this kid is good. But what about Minders? Another one where we don't score many points, 6, and we allow Pal Mac to score 52 points. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Hey, We need to get somebody in there that's not going to allow my alma mater to be pushed up and down the field. 'Cause heck, what's that translate to in real life? You're going to let somebody push you up and down the field, what's it going to be in real life? Are you going to let somebody push you up and down in real life? Can't do that. And I mean, minders, I mean, you got to get somebody in there that can restore the luster of the program. Yeah, I mean, there's been people that say, oh, you shouldn't talk negatively about it. I mean, what's the message you're sending to these kids? That it's all right to let them be pushed up and down the field and be pushed around in life? That's not the message you want to be sending to these kids. You got to fight on. You got to push forward. You can't just curl up into a ball and hope everything runs over you and everything goes away. Doesn't happen like that. That's all I got to say about the minders. But I mean, I will just say, quickly finish by saying, hey, it's almost time for basketball. Yeah, we got events with New Orange coach Adrian Autry. And I mean, there is a pretty good buzz about Syracuse's basketball team this year. Judah Mintz back, several good recruits coming in, and a couple of good transfers, including one from Florida State, who's I think 7'2" or 7'3". He could be a big force there right around the basket. It's almost time for basketball, Orange fans. Let's get excited. And Felicia Leggett Jack, I hope you recover quickly. You're doing a good thing with the Orange women basketball. And that's all I got to say this week. And now hopefully it's a good bye week for the Orange as they get ready. And come on, Buffalo, beat those Patriots.